Hey everyone, welcome back to the Parent Pod. My name is Katie Yount and I'm one of the children's directors here at Mosaic Church. And I'm so excited that you are joining us again for an episode where we're talking about partnering with you guys to continue the conversation at home that we start in MoKids on the weekends. And so thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited because before we dive into all the fun stuff, I have a new guest that I'm just jazzed to introduce you to. This is Peggy. Peggy has recently joined our staff as a children's director here at our Ocean Springs campus because your girl needed some help, and we are just seeing God do incredible things and our ministry is growing. And so Peggy is here officially on the staff. Yay. And so Peggy, I would just love for you to introduce yourself to our community and tell us a little bit about your family.
Okay. My name is Peggy Dickey, and my husband and I moved to the Gulf Coast about a little over a year ago. We've been married for 36 years, and we have 2 kids. They're both adults, and we actually found Mosaic Church through our daughter. She started coming first and then invited us, and we just knew God is doing something amazing here. And I was so excited when I had the opportunity to come on staff to be a part of what God's doing here.
Yeah, I love that. It was an unexpected gift.
It was an unexpected gift.
You're such a gift. And as I've gotten to know you, I know you're really passionate about making sure that kids know that church isn't boring, and helping parents just through every stage. But you have a lot of experience in kids ministry. How many years do you bring with you?
I bring about a little over 25 years.
Gosh, I love it. That's so much wisdom. That's so much practical experience. And I really feel like our community and this podcast is going to hugely benefit from that. And so I would love to dive into our conversation about partnering together with parents to help them foster their kids' faith journey. That's a really long title, but it's a lot. And I want to start first with one of the things that we always do on the pod is we want to tell you guys exactly what we're teaching in MoKids so you guys are aware and you know how to continue the conversation at home. So we kind of have 2 different themes. We split up our preschoolers and our elementary kids, and they kind of do something a little different. But this year, we're walking both groups through the entire Bible, which we're super jazzed about. This past August, we have been doing Genesis. So with our littles, it was all about discovering what God made on what day. And with our big kids, we've really been doing the whole book of Genesis, talking about creation, Adam and Eve, Abraham. We talked about Jacob and Esau and Joseph. And that has been really good because it sets us up so uniquely for September. September around here on the Gulf Coast feels like, okay, August was crazy. Now September is where we get our life in order, our routine, or our rhythm starts to solidify, and our kids kind of know what to expect. And I think where we're going in our curriculum or in our weekly lessons really complements that. With our preschoolers, our theme is construct and create. And we want to talk about their foundation. That's construction, foundation, all very important to those things. But we also want to lean in on that creativity piece because preschoolers are so creative. And we want to help them see that God has really big, awesome plans for them. And so we're going to walk through Genesis and Exodus, and we're really going to talk about, hey, here's a plan that God had. And while that person didn't have all of their ducks in a row, God still showed up in some really big and incredible ways. And guess what? God has big plans for you too. It translates. And we also want them to know that his plans are always good and they're always the best. I think that's something as we grow up, we can come back to and be like, you know what? This didn't really work out and I'm really disappointed, but God's plans are always good and they're always best. They're better than what I would have planned for myself. And so I think that's just something as we're laying the foundation for preschoolers at the beginning of the year that is going to be so helpful for you guys at home. So with our elementary kids, we are talking about being on the move, and it's all about courage and how God helps us do courageous things, even when we're scared. So we're going to look at examples in Exodus and Numbers, and we're going to look at Moses, we're going to look at Joshua, we're going to look at Rahab, these people who, maybe understood that God had big plans for their life, but didn't necessarily think that he would do what he did in their lives. Because, God likes to blow things up a little bit. But it's all about having courage even when you're afraid. And I think that's so important for our kids today to know that you can be scared, but God gives us the courage to do it. Mm-hmm. Like standing up in front of class, talking to a new kid, going to a doctor's appointment, doing something new, trying a new move on the gymnastics beam or something like that. I mean, I just think it's so important to know it's okay to be scared, but God doesn't give us a spirit of fear. He gives us the strength and the courage to do what he has called us to do. And that's kind of where we're going in the month of September. And Peggy, when you joined the staff, I talked about how every quarter I try to pick a focus, something that is rooted in here's what we want kids to understand about God this whole semester. And this month, we're talking about faithfulness. Yes. And what we really want kids to know this month, September, is that God never leaves us. He is always there. He is your designated friend. And I think when you're trying to understand that God has plans, he's not just going to say, hey, this is what I have for you and leave you alone. He's going to be with you every step of the way, just like we want to help our kids understand in preschool. Yes. Mm-hmm. But even in elementary, when we're talking about you can be brave even when you're scared, helping kids understand, and you know what? God is going to be right there with you the whole time. You're never alone. Those work seamlessly together. And so I just, that's where we're going. Those are some of the exciting stuff that we're talking about. But Peggy, I know that you have a really unique perspective when it comes to talking to parents about encouraging them to continue what we're doing in MoKids and not keeping it separate. So can you talk to the parents a little bit about what our strategy is?
Yes, it reminds me of a story, an account with Moses in the Bible where he's leading the Israelites in battle. And
they did that a lot.
They had lots of battles, that's for sure. And so while he was leading in this one particular instance, he had his arms raised. And while his arms were raised up to the Lord, they would win. But as soon as his arms would start to fall, they began to lose ground. And so Aaron and Hur came up along beside him, and they lifted his arms up so that his arms would never fall. And that's what we want to do as leaders. We want to partner with you. We want to lift your arms up so that you're able to disciple your kids and teach them. We just want to help equip you and empower you just to do the job that you're already doing. You're doing a great job, parents. I want you to know you're doing a great job already. And we just want to come along beside you. And we just want to come along beside you and just make it easier for you.
Yeah. And I don't know if parenting is ever easy, but it's so much better when we do it together. The Bible talks about how it takes a village. Also, that's why we've got these little catchphrases like we're better together or don't do life alone. But I'd love for you to share what the Bible has to say about it takes a village.
Yes. In Deuteronomy 6:5-6, it says, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. These words which I am commanding you today shall be on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your sons, and shall talk about them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up." And I know for my family, we had lots of conversations in the car. We
always on the move.
Yes, lots of really good conversations. We would have them, in the car. We'd have them in the morning while we sat at breakfast, or in the evening, or at bedtime. I just looked for any opportunity I could, to teach them truth as we were going about our daily business, the daily routine.
Yeah, that is so powerful, parents. You can take back the time. You can make intentional movement with your time. I think we feel like time is a thief, and we can feel so defeated of I just don't feel like I have the time. We understand that busyness looks different to everyone, but we want to talk to you about how can you intentionally use that time. Peggy, great great opportunity with the car thing. We used to call them window conversations, because I mean, if it was me and my mom or me and my dad, I was in the front seat, they were driving, and we were just talking to the window. Sometimes it's easier to talk to a windshield than it is face to face with someone, but that's time. Always take advantage of your time in the car, and start with a simple question. And we have some great resources for you there. But the other things I think about is, maybe even just having a special night of the week where you're like, hey, we're going to have dinner together, or we're going to go on an adventure on Saturday, or hey, we know we've got to be at these 4 games this week. This is the game we're going to go eat out at, and at that, we're no phones, we're going to talk, or, little things like that. It's just realizing, hey, let's take this time back and let's disciple our kids every step of the way. The Bible says, while you're at home, when you wake up, when you lay down, when you're going to and from. And so we want to talk to you about what that looks like, because someone has done the math and me and Peggy, our volunteers, our ministry, we only have about 40 hours a year with your kids, because we know they're not all coming every single weekend. Sickness happens and we go on vacation. Yeah. And you have somewhere around 3,000 hours a year. Who has more influence over that child? You do. What you do at home matters. And so there are some things that we have, tools, resources that are free that we want to make sure you know about. And I know you have some real practical ways that parents can do this, but first I want to talk about, we're doing something new this year called a monthly challenge card. This is ours from August, because during August we wanted kids to know that God is faithful, because God keeps his promises. And we wanted them to know at the end, everything was like, you can trust God no matter what. And so it says, talk about it. Here's a memory verse challenge. Here's a family challenge activity. This is great. This is for free. You can take a picture of this. You can put it on your dashboard. You can put it on the fridge, or it can go on your mirror when you brush your teeth in the morning. Okay. This is why it's a card, because we wanted it to be super easy. But this is free. You can grab this at any of our campuses after services this month. We're going to have it available at the beginning of every month. And it has been already so good. So this is for free. Another thing for free, because we all love for free, is our Faith on the Go option on the app. I've talked about this before on the pod. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but I don't think enough people know about it or are using it yet. And so I want to keep highlighting. It's called Faith on the Go. It's in the Mosaic app, and we update it every single month because we change our theme every single month of what we're talking about with our kids. And in there, we include a guide for preschool and elementary that has questions about a question for every week that you can talk about. It also gives an overview of the theme, and we are always available for extra resources if you need it. But if you're like, hey, I have a 30-minute ride to this away game, you take a look at it, you see what questions there are, and then you just see if you can guide the conversation through asking one of those questions. It is a sneaky little tool that you don't have to ever tell your kids you ever used. They could be like, you know what, growing up, my mom was just so great about having really intentional conversations. You can be like, yep, that was Faith on the Go. And we're good there. But those are some like resources that I think you can start using right out at the gate. But what are some other practical things that we can invite parents to be involved in that also keep them connected with what we've got going on here on the weekends?
Yeah, we have some great opportunities for parents to get connected. One of the ways that you can get connected is they can just join one of our teams. Come and join us. Be a part of what we do on Sunday mornings or Thursday night. That way you're there and you're actually you're experiencing, this is an experience together with your kids. Mm-hmm. You know how you go to ball games and you're cheering them on and you see the plays and you can talk about it when you go home. Well, if you're in MoKids with us while we're teaching your kids, then they're getting to experience it, and they can talk about it when they go home. So that's one way. And then we have parenting groups that you can become a part of. You can join some of our community groups that are specifically for parents. And then you have other people that are going through the same things, or people that have gone before you. That was always so helpful for me, is when I had people that went before me. And I could just ask them questions. Hey, we're going through this. But that's just another thing that you can do. And also, we offer events. We have some great upcoming events that are not too far away, that we would love for you to participate in.
Those are 3 really good practical ways. But I want to touch on the first one again, the serving piece. I know lots of parents want to get connected with, like, at school or with the sports teams and whatnot. But just like you would that, I mean, being a part of what's going on at church, kids see you serve, it sparks that muscle of us having a servant's heart. And so I would just echo that. There are so many teams that you can be a part of. But you were right. We do have some really cool events that we definitely want to preview here. And specifically parent partnership events. This is very much in your wheelhouse. And so the first one that's coming up is on September 21st. At both of our campuses, we're going to have a family dedication parent class. And you can go to the website for more information about the times and locations. But family dedication is, if you came from a traditional church, it's like that child dedication. But it's really even more than that. It's like, hey, let's talk about what it means to have a strategy to raise your kid up to love Jesus with all their heart, mind, and soul. And then in October, we have Fam Camp. This is new. Fam Camp is going to be like your big premiere event, Peggy. And I know it's specifically for kids that have been baptized within the last year or 2. Can you just give a quick little sneak peek about what is Fam Camp?
Oh, Fam Camp's going to be a great event. It's going to be so much fun. It's an opportunity for parents and kids to come together, have a joint experience where they're going to learn. Parents are going to learn how to help disciple their children, and kids are going to learn like basic spiritual habits that they need to take home and apply to their lives. And so, but you're going to do that, but it's going to be in a fun way.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to have lots of fun games. We're going to have food. I mean, of course, we're going to have food. Yeah. But you're going to have a chance to play together and just be together. I feel like so many times in our society, our parents are separated from their kids. They're on the sidelines. They're not actually with them. But this is an event where you're going to participate together. It's going to be a great
even our weekend services, like, parents go to the auditorium and we do MoKids, and that's so we can teach the Bible on their level. But how fun is it going to be? Something called Fam Camp, like summer camp, y'all, it's going to be great. And we're going to be talking about how to disciple your kid, but also, hey kids, you've recently decided to give your faith to the Lord and have been baptized. Here's what's next.
Yes.
I'm jazzed. We're going to have more information about that on our website here in the next couple of weeks. And then I want to talk about something that's coming up at the end of October. We're calling it Super Weekend. We are going to talk about how Jesus is our hero, and we're encouraging everyone to dress up in what makes you feel super. You don't have to be a superhero. Like, sometimes a really cute outfit makes me feel super. But we're just going to have a blast with that because we have so many really cool examples of superheroes in our culture today, like Superman, we've got Batman, we've got Spider-Man. For girls, we've got all kinds of different like princesses and stuff, and they love these characters, but I want them to know that Jesus is like on a whole nother level. And so that's what we're going to talk about for Super Weekend. More dates and information will always be available on our website, so we don't want you guys to miss that. But let's kind of wrap up our conversation today with some encouragement to parents. You know, they're like, oh, well, we have to wait for Fam Camp. What do we not have to wait to do to continue the conversation and start discipling our kid right now? Because Peggy, I know you have some ideas.
Oh, I have some ideas for you. The first thing is pray together. It's so important as a family to pray together. And if you don't know how, if you say, well, I don't know how to pray, just start thanking God.
It's a conversation.
It is. It's just a conversation. Just start talking and just get your kids to talk. That's how we did. When my kids were little, I didn't really know a lot about teaching them how to pray. So we just started simply by thanking God for something and then lifting our request to him. It was just something I didn't know any other way to do it, and that's how we started. So just start the conversation. It's just try it, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. But we love for you. My husband and I pray together all the time. Now, like daily, we pray together, and it's just powerful. It just does something in your marriage and in your family that you can't do on your own. It's inviting the Lord in.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do.
I would encourage you, if you're like, well, I have a baby, like my baby's not going to pray. You pray in front of that baby. You pray over that baby. But kids, I learned something that kids under 12 years old, they can interpret body language better than adults can. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. But at the same time, yes, babies are still developing their eyesight. But if you get into that posture and that practice of praying where your kids can see, and then you start to invite them in when they're old enough to also contribute and be a part, you'll never regret it. So I know there's more. Tell us more.
There's more, yeah. So serving together, find an opportunity to serve as a family. That's just a really fun thing to do. My kids and I, we packed these bags of food in the summertime together, and we prayed over them together. And it was just something fun, and they got to see us living out our faith. They experienced it. It was a great opportunity. And I just encourage you to do that. Serve alongside your children.
Yeah. That's great.
And then, you can do simple habits like a gratitude journal. Write down the things that you're thankful for, and memorize scripture together. There's all kinds of, you can make up little songs to go with them as a family. You could, if you have a child that likes to draw, you can have them draw this, you write the scripture out and they get to design the page. Just do things like that as a family. Those are just simple things to do.
Yeah. And that really goes back to Deuteronomy 6, What is it? Teach your children diligently when you wake up, when you go to bed, when you walk to and fro. And I know I'm paraphrasing, but parents, like, it really is that simple. Make God a part of your daily conversation. Spend time with him. Let your kids see how much he means to you. Develop that wonder. Read the Bible together. Do that nighttime. If you're like, hey, we don't sit together as a family at dinner. A lot of families don't do that. We stopped doing that when I got into like high school because we were always go, go, go. Take back like bedtime. And like do that then, or bath time. Little things like that I think would go a long way. Yeah. I hope those are like some really helpful tips for you guys. We always want to make sure that we are giving you resources, but helping you think through different things, different solutions, different strategies, and how you're parenting your children. And so I just want to quickly recap. We talked about a couple of things. Events, of course, always be on our events page. If you ever have any questions, you can always email me or Peggy. We have MoKids@mosaicgc.com. If you want to know more about anything we talked about today, if you would like some other resources, please let us know. And you talked about serving and getting involved in a group. And so I just want to highlight on our app or website, we have a couple of tabs called Join a Team or Join a Group. And they do those two things. But again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We want to make sure that as we go into this semester and we're talking about God's faithfulness, that we are also faithful in following through with you. And so thank you so much for joining us for the Parent Pod. We'll see you on the next one.